Leanne, just firstly, welcome to Rangers. Just how excited are you to get started in your new role here?
Thank you so much. Really excited, really excited. It's a total privilege for me to be here, and especially just now, I think everything that's going on at the club and everything that's been happening fairly recently, it's an incredible time to be here.
Yeah, how did the contact with the club come about? What was the process sort of like?
Yeah, I mean, it was light contact. Initially, I spoke to Donald Gillis, just kind of spoke about the availability in terms of the position, and then once we worked through the process and we started to have the conversation in terms of my philosophy and the club's philosophy and the ambitions, quite quickly we realised that there was a real alignment, and from there it was pretty seamless.
Yeah, what was it about this opportunity in particular that made you want to take your first steps in head coaching?
Yeah, look, I mean, for me, it's a journey that I've been working on now for it feels like probably a lot longer time than it really has been since stepping out of the game as a player and obviously stepping into that coaching journey. I think the head coach position has been something certainly that I've been moving towards quite rapidly. Recently completing my UEFA Pro licence as well has certainly given me the tools to really believe that would be the next step in the journey, and obviously when a club like Rangers becomes that first opportunity, it's a no-brainer.
It's obviously a massive club with huge history as well. How privileged do you feel to be the standout candidate in the process? Yeah,
look, I think the women's team, especially just now as well, they're a successful team. Rangers Football Club is a global brand as well, and I think to be part of that and to be the person leading the women's team, as I said, it's such a privilege and an honour for me. I think when you look at the 1% and the differences that can be made in terms of taking the team to the next step, for me, that's the real ambition that we can take that next step.
Yeah, the pressures of just winning silverware and being successful at this club, is that something that motivates and excites you?
Of course it is. Rangers are renowned with winning. I don't think being second best is acceptable here, and for us that will be the vision, that will be the aim and the ambition, that we deliver a successful team on the pitch and that silverware is ultimately the goal.
You obviously took your first steps in coaching a few years back. Just talk to us about how much you've enjoyed that sort of journey transitioning from player to coach.
I've loved it. I think there's no guarantee that when you play in football and you have that professional career, that when you hang the boots up that you will find a job that you love or you enjoy or you appreciate and accept the other side of the game. And for me, working with players daily has been the best thing. I think to work with players and improve players, not just in terms of their technical and tactical ability, but to work with them as human beings and actually develop the person as much as the footballer is ultimately the best bit about the job for me. So I think being in that journey and on that path, I think understanding the pros and cons over the years as well, and a lot of managers that I've worked with and coaches, and you take those little bits of information and ultimately you then shape yourself in terms of the coach and head coach that you want to be. So no, it's been certainly a work in progress, but we've arrived where we are now.
You obviously have a wealth of knowledge in terms of the SWPL, in terms of your coaching and your media work. Do you hope that's a real benefit as well?
I think it'll be a huge benefit. I think it's really important, and I know it can be a bit cliche to say, people need to understand the club and need to understand the league and the players within it, but for me that will be a huge advantage in order to allow us to hit the ground running, to understand the players and the coaches operating at the level, to understand the league structure and everything around that and the demands in terms of the domestic calendar, coupled with the international responsibilities of a lot of players. For me, I think we'll certainly make that transition, pretty seamless again, and I think having that wealth of knowledge is so important.
And every supporter wants to hear a vision from the head coach. How do you see your team moving forward?
Look, we'll be an exciting team to watch, ultimately for me in terms of the head coach that I am. I love a possession-based team, but that will come with real high intensity. I think ultimately trying to create that high performance environment as well, that not only are we delivering a successful team on the pitch, that we create that culture and atmosphere of it, that players feel empowered to be at their work, that staff feel empowered to be at their work, that they strive to be the best version of themselves daily, and hopefully the fans will get on board with that.
Yeah, in terms of the team you're inheriting, it's obviously won back-to-back cup doubles, but it's just missed out on a league title. How do you find that sort of 5% extra to get the team over the line in terms of the league?
Yeah, I think that's, the detail is really important in every area, whether that's, match day preparations, training preparation, rest, recovery, nutrition, every element of it. I think the fact that I've been a former player as well and, I've lived and breathed it, I understand players, I understand the demands and expectations, I know how they think, I know how they feel, I know what it takes to prepare properly. So I think just trying to fine tune a lot of those details, but you're right, they were a successful team, and that's part of the excitement of coming here, that the group is already successful and there's such a talented group of players as well, both young and experienced within the dressing room. And I think for me to work with those type of players and look to try and squeeze every bit of detail and quality out of them and ultimately make them better.
Just on, obviously the academy plays a big role here moving forward. How excited are you to work with those young players that we do have?
Super excited. I think it's one of the best in the country in terms of the academy, and you already see that within the first team environment, that players have managed to make that step. And that's something for me that I'll be working across closely and keeping an eye on that pathway and ensuring that the pathway aligns from the academy to the first team, and that when those players are ready, that there will be an opportunity for them to step up to the first team, and that they will be welcomed in that environment, and they will also be empowered to feel like they will be Rangers first team players.
You're also a very decorated player yourself, and you've touched on it already, but how much do you hope the experience from your playing days can help when you're transitioning to management?
Yeah, so far it's been really good. I think in terms of being an assistant previously and probably being a bit closer to the dressing room, but that is me as a person. I like to understand the players, I want to be there. I want them to know that they can turn to me as they would do as a teammate. Yes, you're the head coach and ultimately you make decisions that at times might be difficult for them, but I want them to know that they can trust me and that I'll be there for them, and ultimately we're on this journey together. And I've seen that through my playing days, and I touched on that. I think you take those good memories and lasting memories throughout your career and lean on the ones that produce real value, certainly in this moment. So hopefully we'll have a really good dialogue in terms of those experiences and shared experiences, which some of them in the dressing room I've obviously shared a few with.
Yeah, we're sitting here obviously in the Blue Room at Ibrox. It was announced earlier this summer that more games than ever before will be played here at Ibrox. So just how exciting a prospect is that? It's
incredible. Ibrox as a venue is unbelievable, and it's renowned in world football. So to be here and to be the head coach that leads the team ultimately in this season, where we're striving to have so many games at Ibrox, for the players to have that experience, and again to bring the fans on that journey with us as well. What a venue to go and try and create that match day experience and get more numbers through the door, and hopefully when they see the team in terms of the transition and what we'll look like on the pitch, both the team and the venue will be coupled together really nicely.
Yeah, and you've always been involved in the women's game a very long time. How pleasing has it seemed to it's went from strength to strength in the last few years, hasn't it? It's
phenomenal. I think the transition, over the last decade, even to look at that and probably even in a shorter time, has been unreal. I think when you look at the academy structures at clubs, you look at the players, you look at the opportunities for players in full-time environments, and that's just within Scotland. I think the visualisation has grown every season, and that's down to clubs like Rangers and others that are doing that to promote the women's game and ultimately make it better. But I don't even think we've scratched the surface yet, and for me again that is the real excitement around this job and this opportunity, that it's been so good and it's come so far in such a short space of time, but really there's so much more to achieve.
Yeah, and just lastly, what would your message to the supporters be, and just how excited are you for what's to come?
Yeah, look, I'm really excited. Firstly, I would thank them for the warm welcome and certainly bringing me into the club and accepting me into the club. And I just ask them to come on that journey with us. We'll be an exciting team to watch. We'll be a successful team. And for me, it's a huge privilege and honour to be here. But I know with the fans combined with the team and the quality that we've got, that there'll be exciting things to come.